Hey guys, I'm back. Having a really bad day. And it's got me thinking about like the last 10 years and how much I needed my mom and she couldn't even hug me like a normal person, and how this last 5 to 10 years, like I've really just been walking around needing a hug. And I know it's not supposed to be like this. I know family is supposed to be there for each other, but that's just not the white trash way that my family operates. So it's I feel like when I watched the video that Bozy made about the video that I posted with me and my mom when she did identity fraud on me, Bozy said this one thing, and tonight I actually felt what she said, and it like makes me sad because it's like, fuck, dude. She said that when you're alone for a long, long time and you're like really strong and you need a hug and you never get one, you reach a point where you like, I don't even know how to explain this. I just like wish I could go back in time and hug myself more for the last 10 years and make sure that I make myself okay. But it's like, I love myself and I love my creativity and my kindness and how giving and generous I am. I love how I'm so able to like therapy and counsel other people for free all the time, just wherever I'm at. But I would love for someone to walk up to me and provide me with the same level of energy exchange. And it sucks because like with my mom, I feel like I'm so good at just fucking shit up because she constantly was like putting me in a position where that's how I felt, despite whether it was true or not, or real or not. I always just felt like I just fucked shit up really good for no reason. And then like she would blame me for stuff that I didn't do. Like for instance, my brother would do something and I would watch him do it. She would come home, he would tell her I did it, or she would assume I did it. And then the minute she like assumed, I would start dying laughing, which would make her think even more that I did it. And then now I'm an adult and I like don't have that family situation going on, which is nice. But boy oh boy, has like for the first time tonight, I really feel like I see my trauma. I feel like I put so much work in, and I know I've overcame so many things that are like overcomable. And then I get to this point where I'm like, fuck, I am still traumatized. I do still have like thought processes and panic attacks in my mind, and like it's from a lack of being. It's from being on my own for so long and not having anyone to lean on, or not having anyone to confide in, or like truly hug me the way that God would hug me. Thank God I have my dogs. Like, thank God I get these dopamine hits every morning when I cuddle with my baby boy. Because that's like the one thing that's like a constant source of love for me that actually holds me together when I feel like I'm going to fall apart. I hurt someone today on accident because my anxiety kicked in. And I like went into that same pattern of like feeling like I hate myself for doing it, because like that's not my goal. I'm not here to bring anybody down. I was literally born to raise the vibration of a planet. Like I know I'm here to spread peace, love, joy, happiness, and understanding. And I know I have a higher purpose and a higher power. And then it's like, at the same time, I kind of, sometimes I just feel like, fuck, what am I here for? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, this mundane life cannot be, like, there's got to be more to life than just feeling alone. That, what I just did, that's all anxiety. Like, if you look at a little kid and they're like fidgeting a lot, They're freaking out anxiousness because they're probably not in a family that has cultivated an environment where they can feel like just peace. So I'm trying to calm down. I have no days off. No days off. I have my work ring on. I wear a ring to work because I get people that hit on me, and I like to tell them that my husband wouldn't appreciate them saying that to me, even though I'm not married. But it's so pretty. Look at how gorgeous. This is a radiant cut. You can't even tell that it's not a real diamond. Like, if I could get a good, I don't know if my camera can pick it up, but you can't, like, oh, it's so beautiful. So, as I vent in my car, like good old times. No days off. Insomnia's one of those things that I deal with, and I'm just so tired. I got enough sleep. I got good sleep last night, I think. I had a dream, and then because of the sleeping pill that I took, I like couldn't remember much of my dream, and that made me upset. I remembered a piece of it. I just sometimes wish I could just direct call God. He could just tell me what I need to hear. And he could just tell me like what I need to do to erase the trauma that has made me broken and a fraction of myself. I know I've restored a lot of my true essence, and I'm so grateful because I missed her so much. But it really has been wild the last 10 years, all the things that I've been through. I'm not going to get into all of it because it's really not everybody's business, but it's definitely one of those things that I'm just like, damn, holy crap. How is she really doing? How I'm good. I'm going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. But at the end of the day, I just sometimes really fucking hate how I behave when my anxiety gets bad, and then I assume stuff, or I like say stuff, and then I feel like, oh my gosh, I wish I could just calm down. But I feel like my ADHD and my anxiety together is like the Kool-Aid man busting through a wall, and it's just like, whoa, like that wasn't necessary, Dolly. That was not necessary. And then I got to talk to God, pray for forgiveness, pray that I'm doing the right thing, pray that I'm making other people feel happy, and other people feel, I want to make sure that other people feel good, but I want to make sure that I keep people in my life that truly know me, understand me, and have that same value in making me feel accepted and loved. And I just really pray that I get good sleep tonight, and that I have a great shift tomorrow, and that I get through this week. And I pray that I eat enough food each day and drink enough water. I have this really great routine that I've been doing where I wake up and I go on TikTok and I watch really funny videos, and I just start my day off like cracking up. And it's really, really upgraded the quality of my life. Also, when you drive to work, putting on Britney Spears is a game changer. But I do feel really sad for my family. I feel sad that the circumstances that we were handed were so off the wall. And I know my brothers go through the same feelings I do. I know my brother, one of my brothers, he like does all the shit that I did in my 20s, and if not worse. Because I wasn't like nodding off in like crazy positions on fentanyl. I wasn't doing that, but I was on other shit that was not good when I was younger. And I got sober. And I would say I don't have a very addictive personality. I do know that my willpower is a force that's out of this world. I just wish my anxiety was on the level that my willpower is, so I could get that completely in check and not be insecure in any way, or like doubting myself or doubting others that don't deserve to be doubted. I know that discernment kicks in, and you also have like the right to feel, you know, judgment towards people that are harming you, or like people that are having a negative countenance or like ill will against you. Like, of course, like, you know, everything with a grain of salt. You have to be smart about who you associate with and who you keep around in your life. And unfortunately for my brothers and me, it's been a really like, I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known. But that loneliness definitely has dissolved into peace, and it does feel like peace a lot of the time. But it's scary because I'm so used to being alone, so I don't want to be like Bose said, Bosie versus the world, that video that she made about my video. Like, she said some truth, she spit some truth, and it's like, I wish there was more that I could have done to prevent things, but it was definitely out of my control, being the way that who my mom dated and how they treated us. And you know, it was a living nightmare. And I probably need to go do hypnotherapy again. I probably need to hit up Dwayne and do my hypnotherapy and have him help me. I know a couple of my chakras are blocked. One of them started to like feel like, when I think about this specific situation and the potential future, I feel my sacral chakra like open a little bit, and it's like a feeling that I've never felt before, and it's like amazing. But then I feel it shut right down immediately, and it's so hard because I know that I've got to work through all the emotions that I have been suppressing and preventing myself from feeling. But it's probably just part of the journey of evolving into your greatest version. I'm really grateful that I haven't had nightmares about my ex, but I do know that this last week definitely stressed me out significantly, to where I just don't find joy in food the way that I used to, or like my hobbies. Like, I haven't made a painting in a while. Christmas is approaching, and there's a lot of stuff that I normally do for like homeless and other people that I just don't know if I'm gonna have the time to do it this year, or the energy. I feel like this year has been on fast forward, and it is a weird feeling because I blinked and 10 years flew by. I don't feel like I have aged from the trauma and the abuse the ways that other people, like my mom, I feel like she got, well, along with her alcohol abuse, I feel like it really took her like on a more direct path. But I feel like God preserved me in a way, because when I was in my 20s, when I was my most beautiful, confident, divine self, I was going through some trials and tribulations that were beyond most people's understanding. And last year in 2024, I had a conversation with God that changed my life, and he healed me from something that I was carrying that was way too heavy for me to carry. And I reached a breaking point where I was like, okay, God, I tried to fix myself, and I cried for 10 years on and off, just trying to pour all of this out to you, feeling broken. And I was like, listen, I'm going to give this to you, and I need you to nail it to the cross and set it on fire. And I'm going to give all this to you, Lord. And I'm going to let you handle it, because I've handled it for a long time, and I don't have all the answers and solutions. I have a lot of them, but I am not Heavenly Father. I'm just myself. And I genuinely love who I am, but when I hurt someone else or like say something that hurts someone, I really do feel shitty about myself because I know that I hold myself to a higher standard, that, you know, a lot of the people that have reprobate minds, they don't even feel bad. They don't even they probably feel like a rush of adrenaline when they say something mean or hurt someone. So I am very proud of myself, but I have done things to reorchestrate my life to where it's a lot more simple and easy for myself, to where I don't have to make meals or like stress out in the morning. I have a very 5 minute, 10 minute easy routine, and that has made things so much less stressful, along with what was I gonna say? Um, along with just not damn it, I lost that thought. But like certain things that I just naturally would do, like certain shows that I would watch or certain things that I could do that bring me joy, I just noticed that like I'll turn on my show and then I just don't even, like, I can't even focus on it. So I am going to do a workout, and then I'm probably going to take a shower, and I think I'll do a meditation tonight, and then cuddle with my dogs and drift off into the dream world where I can feel my higher self be existing in that realm without the chains of without the chains from the circumstances of this life holding me back, grounding me to this world. And it's like the most beautiful escape. It's the most divine vacation. And this is so crazy because like I was talking to one of my best friends about this when we worked together, and I was like, okay, before you go to bed, like right when you're falling asleep, like when you're in the act of literally drifting into sleep, do you do this thing where like your body feels like it's getting bigger and smaller at the same time? And then I do this swooshing thing, and that's when I go to that dimension where I'm in the mall all the time, or where I go to like random places and talk to people, and then I go to the mall after and I meet up with people that I know over there. And it's like, thank God we get to go to sleep for half of our lives and experience this phenomenon, because sometimes that's the only thing keeping me together when I feel like I'm holding everything up with one bobby pin. And I've got a lot of hair, so it doesn't really stay with one bobby pin, but I've managed to figure out how to position it to where I can keep it together, metaphorically, so to speak. But there are things that I need to work on. And I've worked on a lot this year that I've wanted to work on in the last 10 years, but I just couldn't put myself first because I was so busy putting other people first, that this is the year that I remember the day where I like woke up one day and was like, this Eminem song came on in my head, and I was like, you've got one shot. You've got like I literally woke up and like remembered who the fuck I am, and I was just like, okay girl, like we got to do this. We got to do what you came here to do. Like you have a mission, you have a life purpose. You may not know exactly what it is, but you have an idea, and it's like time to step the fuck up and do all these things that you are meant to do. Like working out is something that I've struggled with having energy. Just like before, like during the last 9 years, I was so mentally exhausted from trying to process stuff that didn't make sense, that I was just drained and couldn't work out. I couldn't like, now it's easy for me. Now it's like something that I want to do. But it took a long time to get my mind on track. And I'm very grateful for all four of my grandparents. Bless their hearts, they're all passed. But they do meet up with me in the dreams that I have, and it is so lovely to have the capacity to experience that and remember the dreams and then write them down in my diary. But the ones that are the most special to me, they're in my mind all the time, resurfacing. And I just pray that if anybody can relate to this, that they would like or comment. And if you feel like you are just walking around and you need a hug, just know that I will give you one. Come here. Let's hug. I hope that made you feel a little bit of my love. But anyway, I'm really excited to, I saved up for something that was like a big deal thing, and I haven't been able to go pick it up yet, but I'm very proud of myself and excited for that upgrade in my life. And needed a tissue. I am very grateful for the people that have came into my life, the few friends that I have. I have a friend, she's an Aquarius. She is so similar to me, and we've been through similar things, and I just didn't have those types of friendships in Seattle. And it was such a struggle living over there with all the rent increases and the crappy jobs and the deaths that happened and the abuse that went down. And it's just been incredibly freeing to step out of that chapter and walk into this peaceful after, just to be able to have this life that I'm living right now is such a blessing. Like every breath that I breathe, I'm grateful for. Every song that I get to sing is a gift. Every time you get to play a song that you like, it's like you only get to listen to so many songs in this lifetime. And, you know, one of those things about music that I loved so much in high school and middle school, and in, you know, my 20s, I really like lost sight of enjoying music. And I like this last year, I've been able to step out of that trauma, fight or flight mode where I'm able to relax and enjoy things that I have forgotten that I love dearly. And listening to all the music I used to listen to in my 20s, it's just been so healing for me. And sometimes, you know, these artists that produce this music, like Gwen Stefani, when I was younger in middle school, I got her CDs for Christmas, and I remember going through some of the darkest times and then listening to her music and being able to relate to Early Winter and every lyric in that song. Like my heart could beat to that song and just know that like someone produced something and somebody else out there feels the same way. And it's like such a beautiful thing. I wish these gifted, talented people truly knew how much just listening to one of their songs can upgrade someone's life and take them out of a depressed moment, and just feel that camaraderie through the vibration of that creation. It's like, damn, what a beautiful thing. I need to really sit back and enjoy music and, you know, get my stereo working so I can have the ability to stream music off my phone in my car and play CDs, because I have some CDs I need to pop in. And I was talking about my brothers. One of my brothers, he's not gonna celebrate Christmas this year, and I want to buy a little Christmas tree that's like fake, like one of those little like bush sized ones that you can get from like Home Goods, that's already decorated with like a whole bunch of fancy stuff on it that you can just put out and not have to do anything. Like he's not going to decorate at all or do anything. And so I kind of would love to buy something really beautiful like that and then surprise him, just so that he can have the spirit of Christmas, and so that he can know that like, hey, I know I haven't been in your life in the last like 13 years. Like I've seen you like once, maybe twice, but I do really love my baby brother and my baby brothers. And you know, it's so frustrating that we don't get to have as deep of a relationship and a connection, just from all the, like my mom treats us all differently. And that, you know, has made there's a huge disconnect there, because the childhood I had and the childhood he had and the childhood that my other brother had we all had a different experience. Because, like, one person was getting blamed for everything. One person could do no wrong. One person was the golden child that could do all the wrong and still be in the right somehow. And it's like, we all had different experiences. So, like, when I talk about my experience, my brother doesn't understand, because in his mind, like, well, that's just mom and we have to obey her and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, dude, like, I'm trying to break these generational curses, and I want to have a relationship with everyone and be the sister that you guys need, because I've been more of the mom to them when I was younger in middle school and high school. And then I grew up and moved out real quick because I couldn't handle my mom anymore. And I would love to revamp things in a way where the triangulation doesn't deprive our relationships from evolving in the future, because I would love to have holidays with my family, not the family that I can't stand, but the family that deserves to feel my love. And I have so much love to give, and I've just been, like, bursting at the seams. And it's like, sometimes all you have is your animals. Sometimes it's just the way it is. But I had 20 milligrams of CBD tonight, and that really helped. I was in pain. I have some knots in my upper right thigh, like a whole strand, like, I want to say a good 10 to 7 inches. There was like this giant knot, and I was able to work a lot of that out by, like, massaging it. And so that was super painful for like 3 days. And then I got through that. And then my one day off, I had to move my stuff, which was super chaotic and stressful, and put that off for a couple of months. But I am finally approaching the end of the year, and I just can't believe how fast this year has gone by. But it's been truly lovely redeeming myself the way that I've transformed my whole life. I'm so grateful that I've had the opportunity to step into this last year. I moved 3 times. I made so many changes. I saved a lot of money, so I was responsible. I had when the third time that I moved, I had to spend every dollar I had to get my spot, because I wanted them to pick me. And I was like, how can I get picked? And they like said, like, well, if you pay, like, well, money helps. And I was like, okay, well, what if I pay 3 months in advance? And they were like, yeah, that'd be great. We'll pick you if you do that. And then I paid 3 deposits, and then I had like no money, and I had to like wait for a check. And I was just so freaking grateful that God aligned things for me. And it was so crazy, because like before I even found the spot and messaged the people, like 2 nights before that, I had a dream about it. And it was so weird, because I didn't even connect the dots until I had already been living here for a handful of months. And then it like hit me, and I was like, what the heck? And I even wrote about it in my journal. So I just know that I feel like I'm such a deep person, and I'm constantly dealing with situations where things aren't on a philosophical deep level. And it's so weird to be this deep and then have like the most white trash memories of how my family behaved and treats people, and the responses. Like, it's just like, sometimes you just have no words, because you're like, wow, I don't fit in. I don't necessarily want to fit in, but it made me sad today when I was at work, and I was like thinking like, damn, started tearing up because it's like, shoot, I fucking really need a hug. And I gotta come home and get that little Charlie Barley and have him wrap his little teeny itty bitty arms around me and choke up his love because he needs mommy love. And I gotta get a hug from somebody. But I remember the grandparents, my grandmas, both of my grandmas, significantly different getting a hug from them versus getting a hug from my mom. My mom, this is how my mom hugs me. Okay, pretend this is me and pretend I'm my mom. She would be like this. Like not even like embrace me. And there was a couple of times, like in one of my videos I posted recently, that's not necessarily a recent video, but she at the end of the video we like hugged or some shit, and I was like really well behaved in my opinion, but deep down when I rewatched that, it's like fucking disgusting to me that she would hug me and have this like countenance, and that I could feel like the lack of love and genuine, like if I had a kid I would treasure them like beyond understanding. And I just don't understand why my mom doesn't cultivate that for me. And it's because of her jealousy and her inability to be raw and upfront and emotional when it's needed. So I just fucking really wish that the right people would walk into my life at the right time so that I could hear the things that would help me heal, just as I have helped others heal with conversations. You know, it's so weird how I like meet people at, like when I'm doing customer service, or like when I go somewhere and then I'll like run into a woman, and like I'll be in the middle of like selling them something or just chatting with them, and then they'll start telling me their whole life story, and I'll start listening, like genuinely hearing them from my heart. And then, you know, they leave and they're just like, gosh, thank you so much. Like that was the most refreshing conversation I've had in a long time. And oh man, I love how you explained that. Or like this one lady, I was talking to her and I was like, yeah, because she was having a rough day. And I was like, whenever someone makes you feel like that, one of the best things you can do is go to the bathroom and wash your hands of the situation, and then like spray a couple of sprays of fragrance, and it will just shift your aura into a fresh mood, because you're consciously choosing to like wipe the palette, or like refresh the slate, or like shake the Etch-a-Sketch to a blank state. And it's just such a wonderful thing. And one of my coworkers taught me that about 12 years ago. And I really need to remember to do that with myself more often, because that anxiety likes to get revving, and then my thoughts are like bouncing off the walls, and I need to ground myself to a level where I can be in control and not be stressing out over like hypothetical things that haven't happened yet, or like, you know, assuming things. It's just not a good pattern to operate out of. But definitely ready for the holidays, sort of ready for them to be over. I got a couple of Christmas gifts to give to some friends, some lovely people that I treasure and want them to feel the spirit. And primarily I just want to end this year with respect for others, respect for myself, and peace of mind. And I want to save up enough money to have this tooth surgeries that I need to do something about. And I don't know if I want to get implants or try to do some type of temporary thing, but I ordered a toothpaste that's supposed to be like remineralizing and whitening and healing for broken I have a broken tooth that has been broken for a couple 3-4 years. So I'm worried about that tooth, and I don't want to have to get it pulled. So I've been overwhelmed for the last 2 years about that. And then I help other people, and then I feel like, oh, was that responsible of me? I really need to put myself first sometimes and just focus on my responsibilities. And I do a really good job with paying my bills early, and that has cut my anxiety down a lot. So I definitely 10 out of 10 recommend, like, if you can get ahead and pay your rent early, it's a very good way to save up and feel that level of peace, so that you're not constantly like running around stressing out every month about rent. Just do it ahead of time, and you will feel so responsible. I would like to figure out where my credit stands so that I can build that and feel like an adult. And my best friend like did this thing that made her credit really good, and it was super easy. She said, I think she like would like take out this little loan for like 50 or $100 and then pay it off a certain way, and then I think her credit was like 600 or 700. I don't even know. Like, they like really failed us in the public schools in America. They like didn't teach us about stuff like that. So it's, and of course my white trash family never went over things with me. And if they did, my poor memory was so traumatized I probably couldn't retain the information, because my anxiety would have been like delete. But there's nothing, I can Google stuff and I can learn on my own. It's not a big deal. But yeah, this year has been so transformative. I have cut out people that do not need to communicate with me, and I have cultivated new friendships that make me feel a part of the collective. And I've had the opportunity to speak to someone that is in a very similar situation in regards to the relationship that I have with my mom. Her and her daughter are struggling with certain things, and I was able to like intuitively connect to her essence. And she told me like stories and situations about like recent things in her life, and then I actually like was able to like just flat out like reality check her in like a really humble, like soft way. And I'm so grateful, because like if I could have had someone show up in my past and say those things to my alcoholic mom for my sake, like that would have been amazing. Not that, not that my mom would have like taken the information, but like if she could have, that could have transformed my whole future, and the whole bond and the reality of the situation. Like, it could have been so different, but that didn't happen. And my mom's a lot more closed-minded than other people, so it's it's like a really healing thing for me, to be able to provide other people with that view, because I have such a different view than a lot of people do. And I mean, like my one friend said something to me one time, and then I was like, oh man, like, don't look at it like that, like blah 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 blah. Like, if you like, oh, you wish you would have did this career and went to college and all that, but like, you were partying when we were younger, and like, at least you got it out when you were young, because when you're older you don't want to be like so deprived of experiences that you like do all the dumb shit when you're old. And it's like, we got that out of our systems when we were young. So like, don't be so upset with yourself. Like, and a good job fell into his lap, and he's a high school friend that's doing pretty good, still struggling, still walking through the shadow of still walking through the valley of the shadow of death, and going through a dark night of the soul. But like, I'm just like, your great job that you had fell into your lap, and that was because the universe knew you were ready for it. So he's super hard on himself, and I told him my viewpoint, and it like lightened his reality, because he was able to transform a new thought process that it was just like awesome. So I'm gonna still hold on to my optimism and not feel sad about the past, despite the tears that formed in my eyes earlier when I felt disappointed in myself for jumping into that anxious anxious attachment or whatever it's called, where you're so used to people letting you down that you just like assume stuff, and it's just one of those things that I'm becoming more aware of so that I can detox that mental pattern out of my reach. I remember a long time ago I said in one of my old videos, I don't know if it's public or not, but if you have a shed with a bunch of tools in it, and you don't know how to use a rake, and you have a rake, it doesn't have very much value, but like if someone teaches you how to use the tools, then you can do so many things. And for the longest time I had a rake, but I didn't know how to use it. And then I, YouTubed a tutorial and taught myself. And now I'm able to cultivate my own strengths and use my tools to grow within my mind and become more aware of like what I need to work on and how I can do that. I think that one of the most important things in life is having the ability to continue to forgive yourself and forgive others. I think that's like the number one thing, how marriages last. These couples that have been together for like so long, some of these older people that I've, like older couples, like when I used to work at a restaurant, I would ask them like, hey, oh, you guys are so cute. Like, how long have you been married for? Oh, we've been married for 40, 50 years. Oh my God, what's your one piece of marriage advice? And there's two pieces of advice that always stuck out to me. One of them was, don't go to bed angry at each other. And the other one was, have a lot of forgiveness, because nobody's perfect and nobody's better than anybody, regardless of how much they think their shit doesn't stink. But I do know, I've had so much on my mind my whole life. Being an air sign, being an Aquarius, it's like we're always in our head, and that's, the ADHD doesn't help. The anxiety is a mental state of stress that I'm very grateful how my anxiety was in my 20s versus how it is now is definitely significantly better. But I really want to work on handling my emotions and trusting people and, not feeling the need to jump to negative thought processes or assumptions, or just doubt in general is not a good thing to feel. Unless you're talking to someone like my mother, like you can doubt whatever she's saying. I'm sure she's full of it. But me, I'm a genuinely loving, kind person, and sometimes I feel like my kindness gets abused or taken for granted. And I just pray that for the rest of my life, I would be able to succeed and make it in a way that would benefit the world, so that people feel the love that God pours through all the cracks of my brokenness. And I know I've made my mess my message, and it's so wild that 10 or 13 years ago, however many years I've been on YouTube, it's such a crazy experience to be able to look back and watch all the growth that I've done. And like, I've literally grown up online. And when I look back at my old self when I was in my 20s, when I was going through that situation with my mom, with the AT&T thing that she did, I would have never imagined that I would have walked through the next 11, 12 years with my head held up, with my chin, holding my chin up high, needing a hug and not getting it, and just remaining strong. Never would have imagined that I could have pulled off this level of growth. Like, seriously, it's a miracle. So many things. I've had so many miracles happen in my life where I'm at a point where when something is, not always, but oftentimes, like if something bad happens, like here's a good example. Like if you're running late for work, or you have to go back in the house to go pee, or you forgot your coffee or your phone or whatever, you have to go back inside and grab it, and like, or you make a wrong turn, you take the wrong exit. And it's like me when I was younger, when I first started driving, I would have freaked out on myself and been so angry at myself for taking the wrong exit, because my anxiety would have been like, you're wasting gas and you're going to be late and it's a catastrophe, and freak out and cry and stress out. And then I evolved to where I was like, I'm going to laugh. Oh, silly me. I got off on the wrong exit. Oopsie daisy. Let's make a U-turn and get back on the freeway. And then like I was able to have a conversation with myself and like calm myself down and not freak out on myself and be angry at myself for something so minuscule and stupid. And it took a long time to reparent myself. When I was learning how to drive, it was a very horrible experience because my mom was my teacher and she did a really, really bad job. So bad to the point where I told her that I refused to go with my permit and drive with her. And so her friend would go with me, and her friend would be normal with me, and I was actually able to succeed and do things and feel confident because I was being taught by someone that wasn't verbally abusive. So that was very helpful. And that lady who helped me, she's been a family friend for a long time. She is the reason that I am a gift giver, because she would show up with really nice gifts on my birthday, and she made me feel so fancy and beautiful and special. And I remember a handful of years ago, I remember thinking to myself, how do I want people to remember me? I want to be like Janelle, and I want to give really lovely gifts to people, because like I have everything I could ever need or want. Like I own enough clothes. Of course, I'm a goofball and I ordered more clothes for Christmas because I think like some people have a lot of shoes, some people have a lot of rock collections. I just love clothes, and the reason I think I love clothes so much is because some men like to play video games, some women like to play video games where they have like an avatar and they get to like design the like whatever look, or like, add whatever guns or whatever. My avatar is my actual body, and like I'm in the game of life, or the school of life, or whatever you want to call it. And honestly, I feel like my life is a crazy movie. But my avatar is me, and I just love style and fashion, and the world had a really weird way of trying to beat me into conforming and being like other people. And then I reached a point where I was like, yeah, no, I can't do this anymore. I got to be myself. And so expressing myself through clothing is a really beautiful way of, because like if you have like clothes that make you feel ugly, don't wear them. Like you should be wearing your favorite stuff every day. You should be wearing the stuff that makes you feel like a goddess or a princess or gorgeous or like a badass. Like you need to put on that favorite shirt that you're saving for that one moment that, is in the future. But like at the end of the day, all we ever have is this present moment. All we ever have is the now. So when I was a kid, I would like save cards that were blank because I was like, oh, these are really special, and I just have to save them and never write on them. And I got to the point where I was like, no, I need to live my life and like use things that I love and like put on stuff that makes me feel like me. And so this last year, I've really been able to like get my mojo back partially, temporarily, and dive back into just feeling alive and feeling like myself, and de-thaw from all of those things that numbed me out because the pain was so deep that it was just like hard to process. But luckily I have resources, and I do have a therapist that I go to sometimes. Working 6-7 days a week frequently makes it really, really hard to get up and go to an appointment before work. But when I'm able to accomplish that, it does help. Took me a minute to find a therapist or a psychologist, psychologist and therapist that didn't ignore me, because the worst thing ever is talking to someone that thinks that they know it all and doesn't hear you out and then just says generic shit to you like, and how did that make you feel? How the fuck do you think it made me feel? Like, obviously we're talking about a serious thing, you know, blah blah blah. So there's some therapists I had that were no good, but I definitely am going in the right direction, and feel very alone at this current day. Felt very heavy. The weight of the last week and the weight of this week and not having days off, but I'm so strong and I love having a purpose. And right now my purpose is to pay my bills and provide my lovely life with the beautiful situation that I have. And it's just so lovely that I'm in a place where I feel safe to be myself and work out and cook meals. And not that I've done a lot of that lately. I've probably cooked like one meal for myself this last month. I've been really like frozen burritos and easy stuff, but I just want to fall back in love with life and live it to the fullest. And each moment I want to be present. And I really do miss, like, there's certain things that I know I'm capable of. Like, I've literally proven it to myself. And then it's weird because I have these like negative seeds that were planted in my mind. Like, one of them is my voice. I like don't think I'm a good singer. But then I have like a couple of freestyles that I've done where I really freaking like what I made, and they're on my channel. Obviously, like, I made them on Veloco, which is an app, and you pick a beat and then you freestyle and then it produces it. And I got copyright claimed on my own freestyles because the beats that I used, I didn't realize that that was like how it works. So it was fun figuring out that. But you know, there's a beautiful thing when you get to pour your heart out through music. It's such a freeing thing to experience that and listen to other music and connect to it. It's just one of those things that I was so in love with in high school, just enjoying music. Very grateful this last year I was able to remind myself of that beautiful outlet, and hopefully this year I can sell some of my art and keep going in the direction of success and being exactly who you're supposed to be, or I'm supposed to be. I just want to be better each day, and I want to, like, I really felt like a fuck up today. I really felt like all I do is, like, when I was younger, all I did was piss off my mom, and that, like, I wouldn't even try and I would piss her off. So I feel, earlier I felt like, why am I so good at fucking things up? Like, my whole life I've just been really good at just fucking shit up, and the ADHD and the anxiety and then the goofy side of my humor really got disappointed in myself and felt horrible. So I just need to remember who I am, and I need to remember to calm down and slow down and trust people and give people the benefit of the doubt, and not, not be paranoid about my ex. And I just don't want to screw anything up, because I know I have in the past, said the wrong things, done the wrong things, and it's just, I really wish I could call my grandma right now and talk to her, but maybe she'll meet up with me in the dream world. It's been a minute since I've seen her. Both of them, actually. It's been a minute. But there's this really beautiful essence that the side of my grandparents that were down in California when they were alive, they have this essence that I can't really explain it, but it's like a fabric that is no longer able to be made, and they were cut out of that fabric, and I was also cut out of that fabric. Obviously mine was like a slightly different pattern because I'm way younger than them, but having that essence of them, you know, they were professional roller skaters. They were in nationals and they won. My papa Gary was like ninth. He made eighth or ninth place in the world, like in the Olympics, or not. I think it's like the Olympics for roller skating. But getting to be a part of their lives, like they loved me like no one on the planet loved me. Like their love was the most precious gift that God placed in my life, and the memory of them and just her voice, her voice alone was like such a beautiful thing, that the fact that I get to remember her voice, and I have little videos and clips of me and her praying, and like just the vibration of her voice alone is such a gift that I got to experience her in this lifetime, and my Papa Gary and my Auntie Stacy, and I really, really, really miss them. I really, really miss the bond. It's almost like something that a lot of people won't understand unless they experienced it, and maybe they wouldn't even understand if they experienced it, because my own experience of it is a unique, one of a kind thing that is, it's untangible. You can't, it's just inexplainable how blessed I was to have my life and have them in it, because she filled a hole in my heart that my mom left, and I always knew the wisdom that I have. Like, she instilled a lot of that into me, my relationship with the Lord, my connection to naturopath medicine, my connection to understanding so many things, and the way that she believed in me when I went to college. I went to college while I was in high school because my mom couldn't afford for me to go to college after high school, and then the state paid because I went to continuation school so I could graduate high school and college at the same time. And my grandma taught me like how to go about doing that so that I could go to school and have an education under my belt. And my mom told me that I wasn't allowed to go to college in high school at the same time. She didn't want me to go to college for free. She didn't want me to grow and succeed. And I talked to my grandma and I did it anyway. And I proved my mom wrong. I drove with a permit alone, which you're not supposed to do. When I was like 18, I think I had gotten my license a little later on because I was so terrified because of an incident that happened in a car with my stepdad where he threatened to drive us off a cliff, and he like pulled the car up to the cliff, and I like accepted my death. And then I left my body and I was watching from above the car. I was looking down at like me and my brothers and my mom, and like we were all freaking out. I freaked out so bad I left my body and disassociated right up to the ceiling, which was something I did all the time when I was younger. But that situation alone like scared the crap out of me. So I like took the bus for a long time and just like wasn't ready. And then when I was ready, like I like went to beauty school all the time, every day until like, I want to say like 10 p.m. and didn't see the light of day for a long time. Didn't go out for summer, like 2 years. I was just high school, college. And then I graduated, and I'm so grateful that my grandma took me under her wing and took me to her salon. And I'll never forget the day that Amy Winehouse died. And my grandma, I was in her salon and she was cutting someone's hair. I was reading a magazine and I found out, and I sat there and I bawled my eyes out because her talent was out of this world. And that really hit me hard because I connected to her music, I connected to her essence, and it was just something that I loved. And knowing that she wasn't going to produce any more music, and her spirit, she was so young, she was so beautiful and so young, and it was so sad. And she really felt like alone the way that I felt a lot of my life. Like, she felt so alone. That's why she drank so much and partied too hard, and you know, took the easy way out, I guess. But I'm gonna live to be 100. I love life, and I love people, and tomorrow is always a new day. But I just have so much on my mind, and so many. There must be like a planet in retrograde right now. We must have like Mercury, like there's got to be some type of astrological stuff going on, because I'm feeling it for sure. But I just know that so many millennials and so many people on this planet are suffering from a lack of connection, human connection, spiritual connection. Just, you know, we're at the end of the day, like, you're in your own body, you need to be your own best friend. But it's also such a lovely thing when you're able to connect with other people that are able to unlock certain aspects of you that you haven't really been able to experience. Like I have like certain friends when I was younger that I'm not friends with anymore, because they changed and they never went back to their true self that I loved so much. But one of my old gay friends, when I was younger, we were really best friends, and he made me laugh harder than anyone on the planet. Like, I know there's people in my future that are going to make me laugh that hard, but that was a crazy thing that he unlocked, to where, you know, laughter is the best medicine. So there was a time where I had to pee really bad, and we were on the BART train, and I must have been like not quite 20 years old yet. Actually, it was when I was younger than that, because I hadn't started driving. But I had to pee so bad, so we got off the BART in Walnut Creek, and we ran over to the Target because I needed to use the bathroom. And so he had this prank that he would pull on me, like at random times, where he would get down on one knee and propose to me, and then I would laugh because he's gay. And he would do it in a public place where like hella people would see. And then I would be like, so we're in Target, right? We're in the end. We just walked through the doors that open, and we're literally in the lobby, and the bathroom's like 15 steps to my right. And Nick gets down on one knee, gay Nick gets down on one knee and proposes to me in front of all these people. And I start laughing, and I was like, fuck you, Nick. Cause I started peeing my pants because I had to pee so bad. And so I run into the bathroom, and I was just like, fuck you, Nick. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, and then like all these people were like, oh, and then they hear me like swearing, and it's just like a whole scene. But it was hilarious, you know? And then I got him back. Like, it must have been in like 2017 or 2018. We were like kicking it a handful of times. And I had like bought 5 like shitty cheap rings, and I like hid them on my key